445, Server Message Block, SMB/Common Internet File System, CIFS. SMB, or Server Message Block, is the primary protocol used for providing shared access to files, printers, and serial ports between nodes on a network. While it is most famously associated with Windows, it is also used by Linux, via Samba, and macOS to enable cross-platform file sharing. For your certification exams and networking knowledge, the most critical takeaway is that modern SMB operates on port 445. The evolution, NetBIOS versus direct SMB. To understand port 445, you have to look back at how Windows networking used to work. The old way, port 139. In older systems like Windows 98, SMB had to ride on top of the NetBIOS protocol. This required a complex three-port setup, 137, 138, and 139. The modern way, port 445. Starting with Windows 2000, Microsoft introduced direct hosted SMB. This allows the protocol to run directly over the TCP/IP stack without the extra baggage of NetBIOS. This is much more efficient and is the standard for all modern local networks. SMB versus CIFS. You will often see these two terms used interchangeably, but there is a slight technical difference. CIFS, Common Internet File System. This was a specific dialect or version of SMB introduced by Microsoft in the 1990s. It was meant to be an open standard for the Internet. SMB, the protocol. This is the overarching protocol name. Today, CIFS is considered an old, legacy version, SMB1, and has been replaced by much faster and more secure versions like SMB2 and SMB3. Security and the WannaCry incident. From a cybersecurity perspective, SMB is one of the most targeted protocols in history. The vulnerability, older versions of SMB, specifically SMB version 1, had deep security flaws. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware used an exploit called Eternal Blue to spread through port 445, encrypting millions of computers worldwide. The technician's fix. As a security-conscious professional, you should always ensure that SMB version 1 is disabled on all computers. Modern versions, SMB 3.1, include strong encryption and protections against these types of attacks. Key functions for a technician. As you work in the field, you will use port 445 for file sharing, mapping a network drive, like a Z drive, so that an office can share documents. Printer sharing, connecting a computer to a printer that is physically plugged into another workstation. Active Directory. SMB is essential for logging into a Windows domain and applying group policies to a fleet of computers. Summary for your studies. Protocol, Server Message Block. Port 445. Transport, TCP. Connection-oriented to ensure no data is lost during file transfers. Legacy port, 139 NetBIOS.